Hello there. In this video we're going to look at question 12 from the 2018 Higher Computing Science exam. This question required candidates to implement an array of records. As you're watching this video you may wish to work along with it and pause it at certain points. So we start with the preamble. A new app is being developed for movie fans. The app will have information on the top 100 movies of all time, including the studio that made the movie, fan ratings and takings at the box office. Using pseudocode or a program language of your choice, define a suitable record data structure for the movie data above. So what we're looking for in your record structure is we're looking for your record to have a name and then all the values that you're going to be storing in that record and the data type of each value. Let's have a wee look at how I would go about answering this question, and you can keep working on yours. So, create movie record, because that is what the information I'm storing about. And then we're going to specify the different pieces of information that we have within our record. So we have got a title. We have got a studio. So those are our different fields, and I'm liking the fact that we're getting lots of answers coming in, and by the looks of it, we're really along the same theme. So yep, title is a string because it's text. Studio is string again because it's text. Rating is a integer because it is a whole number, and then takings is a real because it is a decimal number. Now moving on to part 2. Using pseudocode or a programming language of our choice, we have to declare a variable which can store the details of the top 100 movies. We need to make sure that our answer uses the data structure that we created in part 1 that we can see on screen. So in this context of this question, what we're looking for is a couple of different things. Okay. I really have no interest in what you call the variable. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. What I'm looking for is some sort of indication that there is an array. So normally, in most programming languages, an array has square brackets. And I know that the Visual Basic, when you declare the array, you don't use square brackets. So top movies. Within the array, I'm looking for some sort of indication that we're using the movie record. Okay? And then I'm looking for some sort of indication that there are going to be 100 of them. We then come on to the big question. Using pseudocode or a programming language of your choice, write an algorithm which asks for a studio name, totals the number of movies that the studio has in the top 100, saves the studio name and total to file, all for 6 marks. So, I always, before I start answering these questions, I always ask myself, which standard algorithm or which standard algorithms do I need? What does it mean by the total number of movies? Good question. So, as always in the exam paper, you will have, this is part C, so we should always refer back to earlier questions. So what we're looking for is we're looking to ask for a studio name, so for example, Nightworks, okay, and we're going to go through the studio and we're going to count each time we see Nightworks. So it's a count occurrence. Pause the video now and have a go at designing your own solution for this question. Let's now have a look at one solution to this problem. We've got a count and we're initializing that to 0. We then are looping our top movies array with a counter. we're then saying, and this is the bit that people start getting confused about. If we want something to be get target studio from user, we want something to be equal to the target studio. So the something that we want to be equal to the target studio is contained in the top movies array. So because it's a top movies array, we need to specify which value we're referring to. The top movies array contains movies, or it contains 100 movie, and it's the studio that we want to refer to. Okay, so we need to refer to .studio. Okay, because that is what we want. If the top movie studio equals target studio, then it's a count occurrence. The count equals, and you can write this in shorthand if you wish. Because it's pseudocode, you could also write increase count by 1, end the if, end the loop, and then we want to open a file. We want to write target studio and count to file, and then we want to close the file. So marks wise, we get 1 mark for setting the count to 0 and incrementing it by 1. That is 1 mark. We get 1 mark for the loop that goes through the array. We get 1 mark for using the array variable. Okay, so 1 mark for identifying the fact that it's the studio value within the record that is within the array, and then 1 mark for comparing the current value to the target studio. So you don't get any marks for asking for it, but you get the mark for using it here. And then I've just seen this question in the comments. You get 1 mark for opening and closing the file. So if you don't close it, you lose a mark. And then you get 1 mark for writing it to file.